Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what do you know? What you blow? Hi, your boss. This is Sal. And what I'll do here is I had to come on the air for Tony. Let me see. Can anybody, I'm going to do a mic check. Can anybody hear me? Out there, aside from Kosoff, who with he said hello assholes. That's good. Hey, Brimshaw. He's a good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. All right, so you see, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, but I got people listening, and that's good. But the thing is I'm only on air because apparently last night, let me break it down for you. Last night, we had a simple issue where one of our favorite indigent friends, Johnny Longfeather, decided to call TonyTalk last night. What ended up happening from there was Johnny said that his name was Tits McGee. And apparently that got Tony upset because it brought him back to a childhood friend of ours. Or his, for that matter. Tommy. Now, I'm not gonna get into Tommy's last name or nothing like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the stage and explain to everybody why he was such an integral part of Tony's life. And Kosoff, I'm gonna have to get you out of that chat room. I'm not gonna look at the chat room right now, but I just want to say that Kosoff is in the chat room for Blogtalk Radio. And if anybody wants to tell him to go fuck himself, go ahead. And Kosoff, if you want to go fuck yourself, please feel the need to do so. Just don't do it while you're listening to my voice, because it's kind of fucking weird. So, this guy, Tommy, he had this thing. I had to look it up on the computer here. It's a condition for boys with boobs. It's called gynecomastia. This is on the Johns Hopkins medicine site. And it says here that gynecomastia is a condition of overdeveloped or enlargement of the breast tissue in men or boys. The breasts become larger. They may grow unevenly. Gynecomastia often happens when a preteen or teenage boy is going through the hormonal changes of puberty. This kid, he's going through puberty. Now, the problem with this is this kid Tommy. He was Tony's friend. He was a good friend. And Tony wanted me to tell you about Tommy. He met Tommy on the school bus. Tommy was this Irish kid. There weren't a lot of Irish kids in the neighborhood back then. But Tommy had the red curly hair. He had the freckles. He actually kind of looked like a cherub, like the New Year's baby. He had the dimples in his cheeks and all that stuff. A cute-looking kid. He was a neighborhood kid. He's a little pudgy. Not as bad as most of the kids were in the neighborhood, but he was up there with the pudginess. And you see, Tommy, poor Tommy, they used to call him names because, Jesus, he sounds like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But they used to call Tommy names because Tommy, let's just say it the way it is. Tommy had tits, all right? And, this is what Tony was upset about. His friend had tits. And when Johnny came on to say that his name was Tits McGee and he was a guy with tits, got Tony upset. Now I'm going to explain to everybody what's going on with this guy. So Tommy, he was a good kid. He liked the other things that normal kids like to do, play kick the can, and he was a good student. Board games, he loved his parents. He was a good big brother and nice kid, you know. He would give you the shirt off of his back if, I guess, he didn't have tits and he didn't want people to see him. That's fine. This poor kid, his tits were so big. He when he would wipe his ass, his tit would almost get completely under his armpit. And that's got to be painful for anybody. You get the armpit there with the sweat, and the nipple getting away. It's bad. You know, he was tormented all the time, this poor kid. He couldn't do things all that he wanted. He wanted to join the swim team. And what was he going to do? He was going to wear a one piece? Come on. You know, the kid never wanted to wear a seatbelt because it would give the illusion that his tits were bigger than what they really were, and they were pretty big. And they've always called them weird names, like man boobs. They called them moobs, boy breast, double D dude, and tit ules. And that's weird. I don't know what a tit ules is. At one point they called him waterbed because it looked like he had a waterbed mattress strapped to his chest. When the kid would walk, they'd jiggle. You know, a turning point in his life. His parents, they were in denial about it. Every time Tommy would say, "Hey, listen, I'm a boy. I'm not supposed to have tits." The parents used to say to him, "Hey, you don't have tits. This is normal. You're going to grow out of them one day." He says, "Maron, there are girls out there that want to grow into them. And you're telling me I want to grow out of them." You know, they had medical procedures back then, but they didn't have the Google. They didn't have the shit that you guys search on now with the Amazons and all that stuff. They didn't have that back then, so we didn't know what to do with this guy. Well, the parents didn't know. He's ashamed of himself. So ashamed. How ashamed of yourself as a boy you got to be when you got to go and put your mother's bra on and then your little sister's shirt to keep everything compressed. You can still see him. You know, his parents were such in denial. There was a pool party. All the neighborhood kids, they went to this pool party. They used to have block parties in East Boston all the time. It was a good time. They barbecue. You know, they used to have a sausage pepper. I'm hungry. I can't talk about this right now. But what they used to do is they had the pool party. They had one neighbor that had a big pool, and it wasn't an underground pool. They can't afford underground pools. These are blue-collar, working-hard Italians, you know what I'm saying? Cobra Jeff knows what I'm talking about. They had this pool party for this kid. And, you know, it's more or less along the lines of parents were in such denial, they gave him a white T-shirt. It was a white Bruins shirt. And if anybody knows hockey or the Boston Bruins, you see the B on the shirt. You know, the kids were like, "Oh, you're jumping in a pool with a white T-shirt on. We can see your tits." And what the fuck does that B stand for? It stands for boobs? And that's what they asked. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with his parents. They let that slide. You know? So, I mean, it wasn't good for him. It wasn't good for nobody. But last night it triggered these awful memories of Johnny by saying that he was Tits McGee. It upset Tony. So I was asked to come on here and explain the story. Now, here's what we don't know about this is I have a story I'd like to share about Tommy Tits. I digress. I shouldn't call him this. But I got a story I'd like to share about this once I kick somebody out of my chat room. There he goes. Everybody just put him on ignore. Get him out of there. So, the story is, you know, this is when I was a kid. Tony and I are pretty much around the same age. Tommy was a little older than me. Tony's very much older than me. You see, Tommy, I remember one day he was in the hallway at school, you know, and he was breathing heavy. He wasn't that fat. He was holding on to was holding on to his books. And I remember saying to him, I said, "Hey, what's the matter with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you breathing heavy?" And Tommy said to me, he goes, "Jesus, Sal, you know, my fucking geography book, I swear to God, it stamped my tit. It looked like it hit me so hard that it imprinted my nipple into the book. It looks like another fucking island." So, no, it wasn't good. That was a story I have of him. But, you know, Tommy eventually, he got his tits removed you know, he ended up marrying this really hot broad and getting tattoos on his chest. He looked like a gangster that came out of jail, but he never went to jail, so he looked like a badass. He started lifting weights, too, to fill out the muscle in the chest, and, I mean, come to be honest with you, Tommy looks like a giant, looks like a big Irish hitman, and nobody wants to fuck with him. So, I mean, I don't mean to waste a lot of you people's time about telling you about Tommy and his tits, but I decided to come on here and tell you about Tommy and his tits. Now, hopefully Tony accepts this as a way of an apology from Johnny Longfeather, and if he doesn't, then I mean, I don't know what to do. But listen, if you like these little short Sal stories, let me know. I'll be sure to tell you all about the neighborhood. It'd be good. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that we all shine some light on the story of Tommy and his tits. And Tommy, if you're listening, you have beautiful tits, buddy, and you shouldn't have been ashamed of them. They were wonderful. Somebody would have loved to have fallen asleep on those pillows. But anyway, thanks for listening. And if you didn't like the show, or if your name's Doug, go fuck yourself. Thank you.